The Golden State Warriors received the second pick in the 2020 NBA draft after going 15-50 in the regular season. This drop-off in the Warriors comes to do with injuries that their players sustained in the regular season. Now, with their pick, the Warriors can very well trade it or keep their pick and double down on their rookie. Either way, the Warriors have an aging core with Steph, Klay, and Draymond, so they have to compete right away. They have decisions to make of what they want to do with this draft pick. Now, the Warriors need a backup point guard, a possible upgrade in the small forward department, and a possible upgrade in the center department. So if the Warriors use their pick, getting LaMelo Ball would boost the team in terms of playmaking and scoring. Melo is much ball dominant, and the Warriors on this roster doesn't operate with too many ball dominant guys. So the Warriors are really going to have to trust him. They can take Anthony Edwards, but he is another guy who may need the ball in his hands, not as much as LaMelo, but he definitely needs the ball in his hands. And the Warriors might have to push Klay Thompson to the small forward and have Edwards as the shooting guard. He can be that scoring guard that the Warriors can look to take. Best possible guy that fits this team well is James Wiseman. He boosts the center position and he could be a two-way force for the Warriors. Marquise Chris can back up along with Wiseman, and now they have depth at the center spot. The best possible choices for the Warriors to take is Edwards or Wiseman. If they keep their pick, it would be hard implementing LaMelo, but it's doable. It may take some time getting used to, but they can very well do so. Now, if they get rid of their pick, they can completely trade it away for a star or trade down in the draft. But honestly, with everything being said, the Warriors should keep their pick and just prioritize getting Edwards, LaMelo, or James Wiseman, or trading down in the draft. I'll explain why. I can't stress this enough, trading Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green is not going to be easy. Wiggins and Green, their value are extremely low at the moment given their contract situations and play from last season. If the Warriors really want to get rid of these guys, a first round pick or two or possibly even more has to be attached as an incentive for taking these guys on. And honestly, even that may not do the job. A team has to look to rebuild or be extremely desperate to move a player, or the player just doesn't want to play for that team and wants to play for Golden State and only Golden State. A lot of luck also has to play in the Warriors' favor. Western Conference teams are a bloodbath entering next season, and a lot of teams are young and not looking to take on Andrew Wiggins or Green. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, I've seen them in trade scenarios, but why the hell would the Celtics trade them away? Ben Simmons isn't going to be traded because why would the 76ers trade him? He is much more valuable in this day and age of basketball, and if you surround a man with shooters and a defensive big, good things will happen. He is an untouchable for the 76ers unless the 76ers is getting a top 5 player in the league as a return. You're much more likely to get Joel Embiid, but again, what assets do the Warriors really have? 76ers get a Draymond who can't really shoot and does stuff similar to Ben, so that messes things up. Andrew Wiggins is a decent player, but not all too much of a defensive player or consistent player, plus his contract is disgusting, and the 76ers already have enough disgusting contracts. I understand that, yes, the Warriors could plug in the second pick and were to give the Minnesota pick, but even that isn't much for the 76ers because they still have the cap problems of their own. I don't think they are getting rid of Tobias or Horford anytime soon. It's going to be really difficult to do that. They screwed themselves with that. Why would they screw themselves more with another bad contract and a prospect who can't probably prosper with the bad contract players around him? 4 to 5 years of Wiggins or Draymond is too much to handle. When trading for a star, salaries is going to have to match up, and salaries right now for the Warriors is pretty bad at the moment. So Draymond or Wiggins must be dealt in a trade for a star attached with multiple picks, and the situation has to make sense. Let me say it again. It has to make sense for both teams. It has to make sense for both teams. Both teams, not just the Warriors. To get Giannis, the Warriors are going to have to pray every night to the basketball gods, have a shrine of Giannis, pray more, and hope that he has a falling out with the Bucks and he says, I want to be with the Warriors, and the chances of that are low. If I'm a Warriors fan, I'm praying and becoming a fan of the Miami Heat so that they can knock them off. Bradley Beal, I think the Wizards want to give it one more shot with Wall and Beal together, and honestly they have to make it work given John Wall's contract is disgusting. But I like John Wall, so no John Wall slander here. It hurts more when Wiggins and Draymond are both on newer contracts and they're not expiring anytime soon. I've looked through a lot of scenarios for stars for the Warriors, but most of them just doesn't make sense for both sides. It's much more better to trade down, get some assets, and proceed. A trade I see is a Warriors trade with the Indiana Pacers. If the Pacers are fully going in on Malcolm Brogdon, Victor Oladipo, and Domantas Sabonis, the Pacers can trade Miles Turner, TJ Warren, Doug McDermott, and maybe even get a future first round pick, and the Warriors trade Andrew Wiggins, Eric Pascal, Kevon Looney, the second pick in the 2020 NBA draft, and a second round pick. The Pacers don't have any first round picks this year, and they are a team that has to build through trades and the draft, and their timeline is soon coming up to compete now. So the Pacers bite the bullet with Wiggins' contract. They get a younger player in Eric Pascal and the second pick, where they can potentially take LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards and maybe even shop around Victor Oladipo for more assets. The Warriors strengthen their line with TJ Warren, much cheaper contract, and get a defensive center in Miles Turner and some shooting off the bench with Doug McDermott. Now, another scenario of what could happen is that the Warriors could trade for Kelly Oubre, moving down to the 10th spot in the draft. Warriors use the trade exception from Andre Iguodala, and they receive Kelly Oubre and the 10th pick, and Phoenix moves up to the second pick. This trade only goes through if LaMelo Ball is still available. LaMelo and Booker would be the ideal tandem together for Phoenix. Warriors get Kelly, can move Wiggins to the 6-man spot, and can get a good young prospect going forward to help with the bench. Patrick Williams, Devin Vassell, or whoever they can target in the later lottery. A lot of guys could fall down honestly in this draft. Not every pick is set in stone. That's what's so crazy about this draft class. Maybe the Warriors get a third trade partner in the Phoenix deal and get much more out of it, and maybe even get rid of Andrew Wiggins. I really don't see a trade with the Knicks or Pistons because there really isn't anyone on their rosters that are appealing at the moment or appealing for the second pick. Atlanta, I don't know. Ideally, you would want to snag John Collins, but I don't know if the Hawks would give up Collins for the second pick. Depends on how bad the Hawks really want to move up and how much they value John Collins. Chicago maybe, but I think the Bulls are at a good spot at what they have now. If the Warriors do trade down a bit, let's say they get to the 5th spot hypothetically, can very well look at Denny or Okongwu. I think Okongwu fits their style of basketball, but if Draymond is still there, one of them has to shoot the basketball consistently. I like Denny as an option on this team, but he would basically be doing Draymond's job as a facilitator. This Warriors pick is really making me think a lot. There's a lot of routes and a lot of probably trade scenarios I don't even know that's being explored that the Warriors are probably looking into. Their pick is probably making me think more than any other team in this lottery. I don't think they can get a star, that's just my gut feeling, but they can very well draft the right guy for them or trade down in the draft. But honestly, to wrap it up, I really think the Warriors should look to draft either Wiseman, LaMelo, or Edwards if they keep their pick. Ideally, first you would want to get Edwards or trade down the pick, acquire assets, and draft another young prospect. Going after Embiid doesn't make sense when you can get Wiseman, who is cheaper, possibly more durable, and can grow with this franchise. The Warriors, as they are now, can still compete in the Western Conference. They need to strengthen their depth a bit, and they can very much do so. I don't think the Warriors are done yet competing, and they ain't going away anytime soon. And honestly, there's probably a trade, some crazy trade lined up for the second pick that probably isn't being explored now that I don't even see right now. So there's a lot of things the Warriors can do right now. Anyways, that will wrap up for this video. Let me know in the comment section what would be the best option for the Warriors, who to draft. Honestly, out of everyone in the draft, I really don't know what the Warriors are positioning to do. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all enjoy your day.